Kenya's Supreme Court upheld the August 9 election of William Ruto as president in a unanimous decision. Chief Justice Martha Koome rejected the petition brought by opposition leader Raila Odinga. What experts and analysts termed as the rule of dynasties in Kenya has now ended. Ruto will be sworn in as the country's 5th president on the 13th of September. What kind of leader will this self-proclaimed hustler be? And will there be some change in the country's politics and economy? Let's find out in this next report from Nairobi.
The 9th of August was an important day in Kenyans' calendar. Many streamed to polling stations to choose their next preferred leader. In the end, it took almost 7 days for the country to know the results. Then on the D-Day, this happened. Chaos, confusion, anger towards the Electoral Commission. The anxiety was evident. After the ruckus was quelled, the IEBC chair made the much-awaited announcement.
Ruto William Samoei, number of valid votes, 7 million. This represents 50.49%.
Ruto's declaration wasn't welcomed by supporters of his rival, Raila Odinga. A few incidents of violence were reported in Raila's strongholds, until Odinga and his running mate, Martha Koome, made this statement.
The figures announced by Mr. Chebukati are null and void. I repeat, the figures announced by Mr. Chebukati are null and void and must be quashed by a court of law.
And so the vigorous proceedings began. Odinga said he had proof that he had won the election, which requires a candidate to receive 50% of the vote plus 1. He wanted a recount. Lawyers on both sides had a field day at Kenya's top court, and after making their submissions, it was up to the court to deliver a verdict.
As a consequence, we declare the election of the first respondent as president-elect to be varied under Article 143 of the Constitution. This being a matter cutting across the public interest, we order that each party do bear their own costs.
In accordance with the law, we got to accept this decision as the law of the land. But I think it is a very ideological decision. I think there are a lot of what was said in the judgment, and we'll have time when that judgment comes out to put out a critique. But all it means is that in our jurisprudence, the petitioners will always have a big burden to carry.
The Supreme Court made a ruling on the presidential dispute, upholding the results announced by the Independent Electoral and Boundaries Commission on the 15th of August, 2022.
His prayers were answered. Soon after the court's judgment, the president-elect called for unity.
I therefore extend a hand of brotherhood to all my competitors and to all their supporters. We are not enemies, we are Kenyans. Let us unite to make Kenya a nation where everyone shall be proud to call home.
As Deputy President Ruto was widely expected to succeed outgoing President Uhuru Kenyatta, but found himself pushed to the sidelines when his boss struck an alliance with the former foe, Odinga, endorsing him for the top job. A businessman with a rags-to-riches background and a shadowy reputation, Ruto had styled himself as a hustler-in-chief and champion of the downtrodden as Kenya grapples with an economic crisis. At stake is control of East Africa's wealthiest and most stable nation, home to regional headquarters for firms like General Electric, Google and Uber. Kenya also provides peacekeepers for neighboring Somalia and frequently hosts peace talks for other nations in the turbulent East Africa region.
Paradoxically, William Ruto has been able to extricate himself from the excesses and the crimes, really, of the administration, or the misdeeds of the administration. So that's another thing. Ethnicity continues to be a big factor, this idea of voting as a bloc.
Ruto will have his work cut out for him, with the nation's economic growth rate set to slow this year and the International Monetary Fund warning it is at high risk of debt distress. Kenya's public debt servicing costs are projected to climb to 1.39 trillion shillings or $11.6 billion in the fiscal year through June 2023.
WION is now available in your country. Download the app now and get all the news on the move.